Hello everyone out there. Welcome to the launch of the 2021 Artbeat Annual, Unlocked, Artbeat Annual 16. Thank you so much for joining us for this virtual event. My name is Nick Reeves. I'll be your host for the evening. I am the Vice Chair of the Artbeat Board of Directors. We're streaming tonight from the BMO Community Studio. It's at the Tom Hendry Warehouse. Thank you to BMO and the Royal Manitoba Theatre Centre for making this space accessible for community groups like ours. More broadly, this live stream and all Artbeat programming is on Treaty 1 territory with water from Shoal Lake 40 First Nation. We're very grateful to be on this land. It provides the materials and inspiration with which we create art. And it's a space to build community and to connect to the Anishinaabe, Oji-Cree, Cree, Dene, Dakota, Métis people for their original and continued stewardship of the land. We commit to treating it and all the people who live on it with kindness and respect. Very excited for tonight. I've told this anecdote to a couple people already before we started today. About a year ago we did this, and it was just on Zoom and everyone was sitting down at home, and it was a great success. So it's pretty wonderful to be here in a facility that could potentially facilitate everyone being here. But we have the artists here. It's going to be a wonderful night. Thank you so much for joining us. But we are gathered here tonight to celebrate the 31st group of artists in residence: Abigail Wall, Christine Gerard, Colin Valen, Deborah Halliburton, Jeff Barnes, Rena Reimer, and Ruben Trudeau. Woo! Yes, that's right. The book. So we have a wonderful evening packed for you. It's going to have artwork, of course. You're going to hear some poetry, comedy, and some music, but more importantly, you're going to hear about the artist process. But first, we're going to hear from some of the people who know Artbeat from behind the scenes. We're going to start off with Claude Davis. He is the chair of the board of directors, longtime friend of Artbeat. So welcome, Claude.
Good evening. It's a real privilege to be here tonight with all of you and all of you that are streaming in tonight. I first got introduced to Artbeat maybe a dozen years ago. My daughter was an artist in residence for a period, and I thought with the good work that Artbeat did, I thought I'd volunteer, and Ernie Bart introduced me to Artbeat volunteering probably a dozen years ago, and I've been a volunteer ever since and really privileged to be there. A special thank you to everybody that's put this together tonight, including Win Pham, who is here as our executive director, doing an unbelievable job for Artbeat. Ksenia is here as her executive assistant, and James is here. The staff that Win has been able to put together just really does a fabulous job for everybody that comes through the program at Artbeat. I'm very pleased to see that. So I don't want to take too much time. We're going to hear from some artists tonight, and I'm kind of looking forward to that. Make sure you try and get a copy of the book if you can. Donations are gratefully received. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Claude. Very much appreciate your kind words. Again, Unlocked, as you said, get your copy. Next up, we have Win Pham, Executive Director of Artbeat Studio Incorporated. She'll come up and share some words.
Thank you, Nick. What a wonderful feeling it is to be here with all of you this evening to celebrate one of the milestones in the lives of these 7 artists. This was our first group to experience what it was like to do their residency during a worldwide pandemic, to also have their biannual show during a worldwide pandemic, and also to show us how to survive and succeed artistically and mentally during a worldwide pandemic. Together, we navigated uncharted waters, waves after waves of uncertainty, and by trial and error, this group set the mold for how to work together, to build community, and to raise each other up during the most confusing and unpredictable time anyone has ever experienced. You all show such great bravery and determination as you finished your residency and created such beautiful art in different forms, which we will get a glimpse at tonight. Thank you for allowing Artbeat to be a part of your mental health recovery journey, and let's continue to show the world how we can heal and be empowered by creative expressions. Congratulations, artists.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that win. Next up, we have Nick Aaron Townsend. He is an alumnus of the Artist in Residency program. He is a current board member, and he wrote the missive for Artbeat Annual 16 Unlocked. So welcome, Nick.
Art. Society has never really come up with a satisfying definition of what it is. Obviously, a life-size sculpture is art, a video game is technically art, and even the crudest advertisement is a form of art as well. Some say that life itself, a flower, an insect, a baby, is art of the highest caliber. So what is it? The founders of Artbeat Studio, Nigel, Lucille, and Ernie Bart, understood its power when they perceived the connection between art and mental health. By one definition, Artbeat promotes the healing value of expressing important ideas or feelings. Because what is more healing than expressing what is in your heart? And what is more emblematic of a society than its art? Artbeat taught me that art is perhaps the most truthful and profound thing we have to say. It is who we collectively are, and our society is better with your art in it. Congratulations, artists.
Thank you very much, Nick. That was fantastic. Very much appreciated. So we're going to close this introductory part of the evening with words from the founder of Artbeat Studio and Group 31 studio facilitator, Nigel Bart. Unfortunately, but reasonably, he could not be here tonight, so I'll read his words for you. Artbeat Studio, the community garden. As a former studio facilitator at Artbeat Studio, one who worked intensely close with the artists in Group 31, I can realistically attest to the incredible courage and determination of the respective artists in these groups. These immensely respectful individuals have not only faced themselves in the highly reflective programming that was offered, but each one overcame and successfully transformed as a result of this deep, creative, and reflective process that is Artbeat Studio. In the current age of instant gratification, it was amazing to witness the slow and steady growth and recovery process of these individuals in real time. It was similar to observing a time-lapse video of plants growing and blossoming. Under the proper conditions, and only with the consent, effort, and hard work of the artists, the rapid development of their personalities was impressive in their short 6-month residencies. Along the lines of the plant metaphor, the garden in which all of the artists coexisted was much like a psychosocial refuge, and so many valuable lessons were learned as the artists grew closely together in each other's close proximity and community under the duration of the COVID pandemic. I am extremely grateful and proud to have served and worked alongside these tremendous individuals. I wish them and their families and friends many blessings in the future. Thank you, Nigel, for these inspirational words. Yes. Profound words. Thank you. But now, it's time to turn this book launch over to the artists. That's why we're all here. Our first artist is going to perform a powerful routine. Here he is, Ruben Trudeau. Hi, Ruben.
I wanted to, take a second to thank Nigel again for that year, thanks Win and all the other volunteers and workers. It was a really changing experience for me. I developed a lot as an artist. All the other artists, it was a great like community, like just coming together. It was, but I'll do what I got here. So reconciliation, the restoring of friendly relations. Been trying to do that with my exes. It's, you know, but we spent so much time together. Like remember how we used to like hunt and sell all those beaver furs for those stupid hats for Europeans overseas? Like, oh, I mean, I feel kind of bad. Like I was camping the other day with my brother, and we were sitting at the fire, and this beaver like moseys along, and I was thinking back to all those beavers from the past, and it's like, and then just up the other side, another one, and we're like, what? Is that just something beavers do? But they mate for life. It was romantic, but I told you we would be together for life. It's just a kind of like I saw it made you happy. It's just kind of a promise. It's just like, 2 months for life. It's just our modern age. That's how like we did it or whatever. But you taught me everything, like what it is. Like I used to be a shy and like quiet person, and you taught me how to survive in this land. Showed me what it is to be a man. Do. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my right time gal. Everything I know. But I miss something. I miss you. I just want to be friends, Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? I have a new girlfriend now, but this is not about that necessarily. Why can't we be friends? But yeah, anyway. Okay, no, it's about, we're going through a lot in the world, and I think if we can work together, we can build a better world, and I don't know, all of us together like Artbeat, like it was there. Okay, thank you.
That was fantastic. Thank you very much, Ruben. Very much appreciated. That was great. Next, we have Deborah Halliburton. She will share some thoughts about her time at Artbeat, and she's going to read 2 of her poems. Come on up.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to be reading from my book, Come Morning, and the first poem is called A Tribute to Fat Women, and many women have told me they enjoy this poem. Though not given accolades by the media, fat women often possess rich depth of character, a Mother Earth goddess exuding kind and nurturing energy. She's overcome with self-loathing around good-looking men, believing they couldn't possibly be interested in her. She feels not good enough to be treated like a queen, but one day, if she gains wisdom, the truth will filter through. She'll see herself as voluptuous and emotionally stronger than the scrawny ones. She'll feel like a Rubens or Raphael painting and reject society's mixed-up values, which have most women unhappy with their bodies, eating disorders galore. Finally, I really understood. A beautiful woman is one who loves herself. Thank you. This next poem, I probably wrote about 20 years ago, but I still have days like this, although my life is much better. And it's called Sometimes. Sometimes I don't live life with complete integrity, and sometimes I do. Sometimes I feel too afraid, too tired, too weak and small to stand for what I believe in, and I just lie on my couch, courting negative thoughts, trying to make friends with depression. Sometimes it's all I can do to get my meals and keep my home in some degree of order. For 30 years, I've struggled with sickness, many mornings screaming inside, I can't take it anymore, to eventually getting out of bed, sleep deprived. My only goal, to get through the day as pleasantly as possible. Sometimes I don't live life with all my integrity, and sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm too close to see that I live like a storybook heroine. I just started drawing and coloring the last few years, and I don't want to say I'm not good at it, but I don't care. I enjoy it. It makes me feel better. And I just want to show you a card that I designed. It's a big heart with a butterfly on it. And when I started making it, I did not intend this, but it came out. The butterfly reminds me of lungs, and my sister has lung cancer, my younger sister. So I think maybe this card was for her. I just wanted to share that. And also, I want to talk a little bit about Artbeat. Artbeat was beneficial for me in several aspects. It was a learning experience, having to interact socially with people 5 days a week for a few hours. I enjoyed many of the talks I had with some of the other artists, and though I made some mistakes, I had the maturity to walk through the process. I appreciated so much having my own studio just for my creative work. I have also become aware of another passion, good old-fashioned domesticity, including the joy of making my home an attractive, cozy, and welcoming sanctuary. Writing and creating art is a healing balm to my soul that helps transfigure my mental and emotional health. It shyly seduces me into the present moment where I find contentment and gratitude rather than being stuck in my head, mulling over the past or my life situation. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing that, Deborah. We very much appreciate it. Artist Jeff Barnes couldn't be here with us. He's now living in British Columbia. We have Artbeat staff member Ksenia here to read some words he has chosen to share. Jeff completed several acrylic paintings during his residency featuring bold colors, natural and urban scenes. His works are available for purchase at Upbeat Artworks, and I'll tell you how to get there at the end of the program. So, Ksenia.
Some words from Jeff. What can I say about my time at Artbeat? Being the first virtual group was a difficult aspect for me to grasp at first. Art in the age of COVID may have become analogous with terms just as alien to me as love in the time of cholera or fighting for peace. This was not the case. In fact, looking back on it, there were two things that helped me through this period, and Artbeat was one of them. The second was a friendship that blossomed through art. Through the difficulties encountered, I received more from the personal connections with my fellow artists than I ever could have on my own. This journey turned a down-on-himself victim into a person who was happy to look in the mirror, realizing that I have always been okay, just as I am. Disagreements do not have to be the end. Rather, they can be the opening of doors we had neglected to notice.
All right. Congratulations, Jeff. Thank you for writing that to share with us. Thank you, Ksenia, for reading it. Next, I'll invite Rena Reimer to the stage. While Rena gets settled, we will recognize the other artist who is not with us this evening, Christine Gerard. Christine is a fiber artist with social commitment. She sits on CMHA's National Youth Advisory Council and has been donating her beautiful works of art to Winnipeg Child and Family Services, as well as to Artbeat Studio, so that all proceeds from sales of her pieces are up at Upbeat Artworks can support our innovative programming. Thank you very much, Christine. Woo. All right, we're all set up. Here's Rena. She's sharing an art piece that she has worked on since completing the residency in conversation with staff member James.
Right on. Thank you, Nick. Thank you for that. And thank you, Rena, for being here tonight. What a great night it's been. It's surreal, it's different, but it feels really good to be here with you on stage.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing your work in. So Artbeats, being creative, being an artist. Can you kind of take me through these paintings that you brought up today?
Yes. Okay, so these two are very much connected, and I'm about to explain why. So basically, this first one, I call it the artist timeline. It's the whole life of an artist. And the thing is, everyone is an artist. Every single human being that we have met that we don't know. And the thing is, as you can see, there is a mask there. Now, we grow up and we go through life in different changes. We try on so many different masks and we lose ourselves so much as human beings. We start to peel away at our own skin and our own soul. And we also try to remember that in time we try so many different things that people expect us to be, and we forget about who we are, you know? So that brings me to the artist DNA. And the thing is, we all have that very DNA in ourselves. And without that DNA, there is no living, right? There's no life, there's no soul that brings us the best out of us. You know, the best humans, the versions. I mean, with all of this, as we go through the timeline, yes, there's our mental health. And that's our greatest tool. It's not a weapon. It's not a weakness. It is our greatest tool to use as we gain all these different experiences in life. We gain this confidence. We gain all these different rare elements in ourselves that we just can't forget. And so as we go forward, yes, we have all these different issues, but our issues become our greatest power. And we start to gain all these different likes, all these different things that make us ourselves. And we forget about what other people want us to be, what other people vision us being. We take our own path, but we also take what we know. The thing is, people try their whole lives to learn things they don't know. But when they stick with what they do know, their knowledge grows in the most unexpected ways. So it's very important to remember that as we go through the timeline, it's a vicious cycle, but it's also a beautiful cycle. And the cycle, it depends on how you look at it. So as you go forward, this cycle continues to grow, along with ourselves as human beings. And the flower is there to represent ourselves aging with this knowledge and all these things that we remember as we get older, as we create our own legacies, as we fall in love, as, as we meet all these amazing, talented people. And that's what that last flower represents. And that brings me to this one. This I call the wise turtle, because as we get old, crippled, all those other things, we remember all the things we went through in our timeline as an artist. And the thing is, you can't be an artist because, you can't be an artist without living life. That's the thing. Every single choice and decision we make makes us our own artist. It destroys all the flaws into something beautiful. Imagine a gun, and out of the gun, instead of a bullet, it's a flower. That's what that flower represents. And as we go through life and we start to remember all the things we learned when we were young, and we just started to think about all the things that just made us feel so good as a human being, it kind of turned us into wise turtles. And I always had a huge fascination for turtles when I was little, and I remembered that. And it's true.
Yeah.
The wise in all of us, it grows at some point. It comes along, even if it's to the last days that we take our last breath on earth.
Beautiful. So, in terms of your astute perspective on creativity and your perception of art is beautiful. It's wonderful. How did that play in terms of the Artbeat Studio program? How did that program help you?
Honestly, a lot of people are saying it's a learning experience, and it was a huge learning experience. It was like a big leap that almost changes you as a human being. It makes you a better person. That without this, I almost wish it existed way more before then. I wish it existed for years, because back then a lot of people could have used this program. And I'm a huge advocate for this, because I strongly suggest that this program keeps living as long as it can stand on its very structure. This foundation is huge, and it needs to keep growing, because people need this.
Yeah.
And honestly, I know just on the outside, people might not show it, but on the inside, they're better people because of this program. This program has built a foundation in themselves, and they need that. And I think that's exactly what it did for me. Yeah.
Right on. Well, thank you, Rena. Thank you for taking the time to sit down here and speak to all of us and to everyone watching at home. So thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you very much for that. Who doesn't like a good Q&A session? It was like Inside the Actors Studio Artbeat Edition. That was fantastic. Colin Vallon is our next artist. He's a poet whose content and style echoes myths and ancient sagas. He's going to share 2 poems of his, and they're published in the Unlocked Artbeat Annual. Welcome, Colin.
Thank you. This first piece I call The Waterfall Fire, and I was inspired by the, let's say, China dolls, the porcelain outer figure that I suppose older society would have thought of women of chilled, quiet, almost barren and colorless, kind of like the Arctic, but something kind of rages underneath in the actuality. Broken, bleeding tundra, cleft into twain. Ice cracks like thunder, collapsing terrain. That stream of fire, permafrost be undone by her desire. The flames ignited from, oh, that creek of fire, the well of flames, rising higher and higher, smoke-filled domain, the rapids of fire, glaciers bane, volcanoes ire, obsidian river banks, the waterfall of fire, manifested form, carving the Arctic, raging in the north. Force of nature, child, never seen before. Submit to the fire, now be reborn. This second piece was inspired by my late stepfather's love of cowboys and cop films and Clint Eastwood and the like. So this is about the Texas Rangers, to which I actually sent them the poem and they liked it. So here we go. Desert waste and barbecue taste. Texas Hold'em with a hidden ace. There's an ever-present danger. One rat, one ranger. Bowie knives with bolo ties. Ribs and beer comes with fries. Don't you tell us no lies. Badge of honor, grace of God. You run the numbers, I'll play the odds. 2 holsters, a 45 with Texan pride. Onwards and downwards, we ride, we ride, we ride. Thank you.
That was excellent. Thank you very much, Colin. I can see why they liked it. That was great. The next artist joining us is Abby Wall. She will share some of her art and process in conversation with James. Following that, she will sing her original song, Freedom. Let's welcome Abby. We're going to take a moment here to recognize the team, people who worked hard to put this edition of Artbeat Annual together. Michael Rennie, a longtime volunteer and retired writer, wrote all the biographies. Joni Peters, another longtime volunteer, lent her artistic hand in taking professional portraits of the artists. Rachel Wilson, Artbeat's lovely summer marketing assistant, designed the cover art and labored over the layout of this book. Marissa Hoff, our wonderful art program director, appeared over every photo and margin while editing. And Dave's quick print, once again, took on the task of printing all of our annuals. So thank you, everyone, for doing that. Yes. And now over to Abby and James.
Right on. Thanks again, Nick. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
And Colin, that's so powerful. That's the second time I'm hearing that today, and I'm just like, woof, it's really good. But thank you, Abby, for being up on stage with us tonight.
Oh, thank you.
It's just, again, such a great evening, and I'm so stoked to see your art up here. You have such a distinct style, as we all know, and I would love for you to sort of walk me through the pieces that you've brought today.
All right, well, I love this one. It's called Held. And it's 2 people together and in bright, bold colors, because that's what I really love to paint. And the 3 of them all are sort of about camaraderie. I love to paint people when they're really enjoying each other's company and they're in the safest of situations. So I've got this one that is 3 girls all smoking together. And they're very comfortable with one another, along with the held piece. And then the third one is another 3 women that are all in a really safe, comfortable situation. And I love to paint that in bold colors and in brassy metallics.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So in terms of your process as an artist, how does your creativity and your artistry help your mental health? How's that a part of your journey?
I'm really, really busy inside. I am always moving at 100 miles per hour. So it gives me something to do almost as an aside. It was more than a hobby. It was something to do while I lived. And so I still do that. While I hang out with people, I will constantly paint or adjust things. And when I get moving too fast, I get confounded and I stop moving completely. But while I paint, it keeps me at a healthy balance, and
Nice.
it's beautiful.
Nice, right on. So, and then in terms of Artbeat, your journey through the program, the studio program, how did you find that? How did it benefit you as an artist?
It was such a gift. I work in my space that I live in, and that's not always comfortable when you're a painter. It's very messy. It can get just awful. But I got a studio space and the space to do whatever I wanted. I could splatter paint if I wanted. I could work with inks. And it gave me so much joy to meet other people that were trying to create like I was trying to create. And it just gave a meaning to my days to get to go somewhere and have your own free space to just make whatever you saw the world as.
Yeah, awesome. Well, so thank you very much. That's beautiful. And I think a good way to segue is now we're going to hear you sing a song. I believe it's titled Freedom, and I think that art obviously brings a freedom to you. And I'm so excited to hear you sing the song for us.
Thank you.
Yep.
And if you want it done right, you gon' have to get your hands down in the dirt just a little bit. Yeah, and if you finna live right, you gon' have to bleed for the cause just a little bit. Yeah, and if you've been looking for some of that insight, I'm gonna have to ask you to swallow some of your pride just a little bit. Yeah, you gon' have to get right with your heart and your head. Make peace with your dark and bury your dead. Make peace with them, and I promise you freedom comes maybe when you find all your peace of mind, or when your days are done. Freedom, freedom, freedom comes. Freedom. And if you wanna love right, you gon' have to break your poor heart just a little bit. If you living uptight, well, you gon' have to loosen your grip just a little bit. And if you still looking for some of that insight, I'm gonna have to ask you to swallow all your pride just a little bit. Yeah, you gon' have to get right with your heart and your head. Make peace with your dark and bury your dead. Make peace with them, and I promise you freedom comes maybe when you find all your peace of mind, or when your days are done. Freedom, freedom,
owe you nothing. Yeah, I don't owe you anything that is mine. Freedom, freedom comes. Freedom, it comes. Freedom.
Thank you, Abby. That was fantastic. Again, thank you to all of the artists, Group 31, for sharing your work. I'd like to invite you all back on stage to receive your certificates in recognition of your efforts and your growth in the Artist in Residency program. So come on up.
Thank you.
A round of applause here. The hard work they did. Excellent. Give them a bow. All right, thank you. So you can find the pieces of art. Yeah, you can. Absolutely. Or stay, whatever you like. This is yours. So to the audience, you can find all of these pieces by this group of artists at Upbeat Artworks. It's in Portage Place Mall. It's on the east side on the second floor. Go down the hallway, take a left, but also you can pick it up online, upbeatartworks.ca, upbeatartworks.ca. Congratulations, artists. Yeah, one more round of applause, let's do it. Finally, I'd like to remind everyone that our Art Saves Lives fundraising campaign is active until the end of November. Artbeat is grateful for any donations that you choose to give. We'd also like to offer some special gifts to you in thanks. If you donate with a Winnipeg address, if you're outside of Winnipeg, get a Winnipeg address. If you donate, you can get past Artbeat Annual, so a very similar book, different group of artists, different world of art that you can take a look at. If you want to be one of the first people to read Artbeat Annual 16, donation of $25 or above will get you the book, and anyone who donates $40 or more will get a limited edition Art Saves Lives tote bag. We are very appreciative of all of your support. Once again, thank you to these artists for sharing their gifts. Yes. Everyone is so appreciative of all the work that they do, that artists do. It gives everyone lives so much more enrichment, and it's just so great that you came here and showed us all of your work. It's so appreciative. To BMO and RMTC for use of this studio and their technical support, and to you for joining us. Until next time, thank you.